The Lost Kingdom is open and KVK3 Light and Darkness is here. In this video, I'm going to break down everything for you so you have a complete understanding of what happens in KVK3, so stick around. What's up everybody, Psych out here with another Rise of Kingdoms video. Our KVK3 Lost Kingdom has opened up today, and in this video I'm going to be breaking down everything that's going on. There's all kinds of things happening, and just to give you a big picture overview of all of the stuff that's happening in KVK3. So look, a couple of things that you should know. Sometimes this is called Light versus Darkness, or LVD KVK, or KVK3. We'll get into the reasons for that in a little bit. The first thing you should think about is, what should I do as KVK3 is approaching? A couple of things. When the Lost Kingdom opens up, you want to make sure you have all of your resources transferred. You can see I'm sitting here near my farm accounts, and I have a lot of resources. I've transferred tons and tons of resources. Of course, you can transfer later. You can bring them, your farm accounts, into Light versus Darkness KVK, which is not true unless your farm accounts are 25 in Season of Conquest KVK. But that's not really the point here. The point here is you want to get all of those resources moved over now while you can, because you're probably not bringing your farm accounts into Zone 4. The next thing you want to do is jump into the Lost Kingdom. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to hit this teleport button. You can see this is where we're at. These are the other kingdoms involved in this KVK. And I'm going to show you here, I think in this camp map in a second, I'll show you just how all of that layout works. But let's first get ourselves into the Lost Kingdom. And there we are. We have teleported in. And there are lots of things to do. First thing is, there's a lot of barbarians, and as you can see, my AP has filled up. So I'm going to go ahead and get my barbarian marches out on the map and start killing some barbarians while we talk about this. So the thing about Light versus Darkness, or KVK3, that makes it a little bit different is the matchmaking. And so that's one of the first things that happens, and this has happened already weeks before this. So the first thing that happens is all of the kingdoms are seeded, either in our cases there's A, B, and C, and D. We are a C seed kingdom, and the way our Lost Kingdom, or our KVK3 is shaping up, is that there's one C kingdom per side, and there's 3 D kingdoms per side. So we are the C kingdom. On our side, we are on the lunar or dark side of the Light versus Darkness KVK, and I think I can show you. So here you can see who's on which sides. We have 4 kingdoms on the light side, and we have 4 kingdoms on the darkness side. Notice the thing there, Solar Glory. That's actually pretty important, and we will talk about that. And I really shouldn't be killing these low-level barbarians. I should be going near the holy sites where there's slightly higher-level barbarians, but I'm just not going to worry about that for right now. So that Solar Glory is something we're going to talk about here in a minute. If I can zoom out onto the map, you can see, and I feel like there is another map mode where I can see this a little more clearly. So let's see if I can find that here. I think it's under here, but I thought there was a way. Maybe there isn't. Maybe this camp thing is the only thing you can do. So let me go back to the map. The thing that you want to know is that if I'm looking up here at this top, this top left map, that there, or rather the top right corner, here in Celion, that's our kingdom. Our opponent kingdoms are up here in Benguala, and also over here in Weiji. And then our ally kingdoms are here in Clarencia, and in well, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that one. So we're both on our 2 allies are on our left side, and then there's 2 allies on the right side. So the allies are across from each other. The darknesses are typically left to right, and the light kingdoms are top to bottom. So this is our other ally over here in Lucerne, and then these are 2 enemies down here in San Pedro and Tahiti. So that's one of the things that makes KVK3 pretty interesting, is the matchup, at least in principle, is fair. You don't, unlike in KVK2, where you can sometimes get things like a 5v3s or 6v2s or 6v1s versus 1s or something, really crazy things like that. You don't get that kind of thing happening in KVK3. Of course, any kingdom at any time could really betray their allies, but it is set up so that there is light allies and darkness allies. So that's one of the really cool things about KVK3. So once you have figured out what your seed is, whether you're CD or whatever, then you pick your allies. You figure out which, and there's a 2 or 3 day period where the kings of the kingdoms talk to each other, communicate, and try to pick allies. We've picked our allies, and then there is a matchmaking period at that point. So once all of the kingdoms in several continents all compete in this at the same time, once all of those kingdoms have picked up their allies, basically you've got these teams of 4 kingdoms, it decides which set of 4 kingdoms is going to be going against which set of 4 kingdoms. That's the matchmaking period. After the matchmaking period is over, then you get into what are the typical pre-KVK events. So if you've been in any other KVK, you're familiar with those events. You've got your Marauders, and then you've got the training, and then you've got the Marauder forts, and all of that stuff has some impact, right? So I think we finished 4th, and I don't even know if you can see it here. Actually, I think it's here at the top. Yes, the Crusaders Might, I think is what it's called. Yeah, so we finished 4th, which is increased gathering speed, whatever. It doesn't really make that big of a difference. So that's the first part. Now, another important thing about KVK3 that makes it pretty different is you're probably used to honor from other KVKs, and you do in fact gain honor from killing barbarians. I'll click on this barbarian here, and you can see that I get these Soluna coins, but I also get honor for killing the barbarians. If I'm remembering this correctly, it's been a while since I've been in here. Let's see, I should get honor points for this, so I'm at 125, so let's see what happens now that I've killed that barbarian. Yes, so now I'm at 150, so that barbarian gives 5 honor points, and since I have 5 marches killing it, that gives me 25 every time I kill one. So you get honor for killing the barbarians, but you also get those Soluna coins, and I'm going to show you, I'll try to show you right now. Let me kill this barbarian. I will show you what these Soluna coins can be used for. Where are the coins? I thought they were in here somewhere. They're under resources. Yeah, there they are. So I've got 3 of these. These is from this gathering event. Let me pull that up also. So that's one other that we'll come back to that. So for the War of Conquest, we have this light versus darkness event. This is gathering resources on the map. You gain these Soluna coin packs, and you can use those to get Soluna coins. And then if I go to Grace of Soluna, where I just was, this is where you turn in those Soluna coins. So right now, our kingdom is going for this rejuvenation here. So you'll notice that I can turn in, I have 175 Soluna coins. I can turn in 100, and it adds these credits, these little triangles to our alliance tech, or our kingdom tech rather. And we get, actually it's not even kingdom tech, it's actually our sides tech, darkness versus light tech. It will increase the tech for our 4 kingdoms, but we also get these honor tokens as well. So it's actually really super easy to gain honor in KVK3. So if you're used to KVK2 and you're like, man, it's really hard to get all that honor, KVK3, it's super easy because you basically get double the honor. You get honor for killing the barbarians, and then you get those Soluna coins, and you turn in the Soluna coins, and you get honor for that as well. I'm going to go in here to my resources, and I'm going to pop these 3 Soluna coins. And then if I go back into the Grace of Soluna, I can put them here into rejuvenation. Rejuvenation is we have a strategy. Different kingdoms and different places have different strategies for what they want you to invest in first. Our strategy is to invest in that. And why do we want to invest in that? And let's talk a little bit about this tech. So bumper season gives you some gathering speed, which obviously there's a lot of value in getting gathering speed, particularly for some of these gathering events. One of the things a lot of kingdoms do before KVK starts is because they want to win. Where is the competition here? Is it under this one? Yeah, so they want to win this event. They do what's called pre-gathering. Notice that you get points here for gathering resources. That the 2 camps, the light and darkness camp, are competing to gather the most resources. One of the things that a lot of kingdoms do is they do what's called pre-gathering, where you send out your gatherers with full marches of siege, and you have them gather for days. So maybe during the Marauder Forts event, instead of doing Marauder Forts, you just gather, and you don't bring your marches home. You just let them get completely full. There's a couple of tricks you can do to do that. You can get your marches into a position where they can't get back through the pass, and your marches won't march home. If there's no way for them to get home, they'll just stop where they are when they finish a node, and then you can send them to a new node. Gold and gems are great because they give the most points. If you see here, gems give 150 points, gold gives 5 points per every 100 gold, so they give the most points. So you collect those for days, and then when the Lost Kingdom opens, you bring those gatherers back, and they deliver a big rush of points right away for your kingdom. That's what a lot of people do. That's what a lot of kingdoms recommend. So that's what we're competing for right now. And if you win these events, let me go ahead and donate another 100 Soluna coins. If your kingdom wins these events, we can check here well, there's individual rewards, right? So you can see I'm not doing very well. But if your kingdom wins the event, so the winning camp gets quite a bit of rewards. There's 1 gold head, but it's for everybody at the camp. So it actually ends up being a lot of gold heads. You also get this equipment chest, and you get a bunch of Soluna coins. Of course, those Soluna coins can then be immediately dumped back into your tech. So let's jump over here, not past glory. Sorry, let me go back into the grace of Soluna. And this tech is really important. So we've got the gathering tech, we've got some march speed tech, we've got, this is commander experience. It's probably not the highest priority one. Rejuvenation gives you action points. Action points, getting those back, recovering those more quickly is really valuable because that means you can kill more barbarians, which means you can get more Soluna coins, which means you can then donate to all of these these techs here. So there's attack tech for calves, infantry, archers, siege, and then there's defense tech for all of the same things. Then there's troop attack tech, which just gives general attack to all of your troops. It's a really valuable one is burning speed, which is how quickly you burn structures, flags, forts, those kinds of things. And hardened, which is building durability. So all of this tech ends up being really important. And in KVK3, all of that is going to come down to really fights in Kingsland. And I'm going to show that here in a moment. I'm going to see if I can zoom myself out. And if we're looking at this map, a couple of things to notice. One is that our level, there are a lot of passes here, but these ones up here at the top, level 9, you don't even have to worry about those. Those won't be for a long, long time. So for right now, we've got these level 4 passes. These will open up maybe in a week or something like that. And then once those are open up, you go out here and you get the Hirons. Now, unlike in KVK2, when the level 4 passes open up in KVK2, there is huge amounts of battling and all kinds of fighting in those Zone 5s. Here, our only people connected to this Zone 5 are also our allies. So in KVK3, we'll just be coming out here and saying hi to our allies and just basically placing our forts near these 2 things here. These are ancient ruins, and these will be hotly contested a little bit later on. So once the ruins open up, so you'll notice that there are passes. Let's get this verification out of the way. Okay, verification done. You'll notice that there are level 5 passes connecting these, and there's one on our side, and there's one on the side of our enemy kingdom. So the enemy kingdom will be coming out into this zone over here, whereas we'll be in this zone, and we'll be connecting to those passes. They'll be connecting on their sides, and we will be fighting in those ruins. One of the things that makes ruins really interesting is you are only allowed to bring 1 march into those ruins, so you really need to pick your best and most effective march. And only one alliance can control the ruins. You control the ruins by clearing out all other alliances from that ruin. If you've cleared out all the alliances from the ruin, one alliance will then control the ruin, and then you can start earning honor just like in KVK2. Again, these are hotly contested. There's lots of fighting over these ruins, and it can be a lot of fun. And then the same thing happens, right, by the way. So after that's all done for a few days, then these level 6 passes open up, and again, you and your ally, who also has some level 6 passes, move into Zone 6 here, Kalka, and then over here there is something called a Dark Altar, which is, again, it's just like the Dark Altars in KVK2, but it's the same kind of fighting. You're only allowed to bring 1 march in, and they're hotly contested for a while. The fights can be pretty intense there. And then ultimately everything boils down to this, and that's getting to Kingsland with these level 8 passes. The level 8 passes open up, and you can note that Kingsland is pretty small. We've got 8 kingdoms, we've got 8 passes opening up, and every kingdom is going to be piling in here. Every kingdom is guaranteed access to Kingsland in KVK3, which does make it very different. Remember, in KVK2, it's often the case that the KVK is won before Kingsland even opens, as was in our last KVK2. I'll put a card at the top if you want to see a little bit more about that KVK2. In this case, all of the kingdoms, all 8 kingdoms, 4 from each side, make it a Kingsland, and then there's fighting for several days. And that's a really important thing to know about KVK3. You really have to be online when Kingsland opens if you want to hit your kingdom's targets, if you want to be a big contributor during that KVK. It's unfortunate because there's not a lot of other opportunities, but when Kingsland opens, that is really the big deal. That is really when all of the action takes place. The last time I was in a KVK3, my alliance mates and I spent nearly 12 hours. I believe it was more than 12, or sorry, close to 24 hours. It was definitely more than 12. Close to 24 hours battling it in Kingsland before we finally were able to secure it and ultimately win that KVK. So there's a lot of battling in Kingsland. You'll of course be working with your allied kingdoms to deal with all of that. So that makes KVK3 pretty different. And again, I mentioned this alliance tech. Let's go back into the tech. That's not what I wanted. This tech is pretty important. You want to get those Soluna coins. You want to win these events because you can dump more Soluna coins into these. You can get some nice bonuses to your defense, your attack, and all of those stats. So you'll be more effective on the field, particularly when it comes to those big Kingsland fights. Okay, let's get a little bit more AP here and kill a few more barbarians. Now, so I think that's the big thing on Soluna coins and honor. Of course, you'll get honor from those ruins as well. But again, I think in KVK3, getting the honor rewards is pretty easy just by killing barbarians and donating your Soluna coins. Let's look at the achievements. It's a similar kind of set of achievements. You've got your individual achievements, and I believe the top level kill achievement. I think a lot of these are the same as KVK2. There's probably some differences, but I don't know what they are. You get those same kill achievements, those honor achievements, killing barbarian achievements. And I think it's 25. Yeah, it's 25 million kills again is the top level achievement for KVK3. And then of course there's achievements for occupying honor or occupying ruins and altars, achievements for gathering resources, which shouldn't be very difficult to do. You've got the kingdom achievements, alliance achievements. A lot of these are very similar to KVK2. I think the big difference is that instead of getting a commander, Wu Zetian, where is it here? I believe you get the Skolos Lucky Coin, although I don't see any there. Is it under Alliance? I thought you got the blueprint pattern for Skolos Lucky Coins in this one, and is that it there? Yes, there it is. So you get these blueprint patterns for Skolos Lucky Coin, which is something you can craft if you want to. I have them, and I have not crafted them because I don't really think it's a particularly valuable accessory to craft. So let's see what else to talk about. As I mentioned when I talked about how the battling works, most of the fighting for the first 2 or 3 weeks of KVK is just in altars and ruins. There's not a lot of other action. There's not flag fighting. There's not a lot of that. And what that means is that KVK3 is actually really interesting and really, I think, a lot of fun and a really good value for players who are low spend and free to play. And the reason for that is because in ruins and altars, all you have to have is one march. If you have one really good, one really effective march, you can do really effective things in KVK3. You can be just as effective as most people. If you are a big whale, or if you're a big spender or a big player with lots of really good marches, lots of really good gear, you're going to feel a little bit hamstrung because you can't put those marches in. You can only bring one march to ruins. All of that other equipment that you have will just sit there waiting to be used in Kingsland. And so again, there's not a lot of rallying. There's not a lot of flag fighting, those kinds of things, until Kingsland opens up, and then the fighting really changes quite a bit to look a lot more like KVK2. It's very similar, though, in terms of the structure. You take your ruined Crusader fortresses, you take your Crusader camps, you take your passes. All of that stuff is all the same as you might see. I'll just wait for that in KVK2. And mostly there's just a lot of farming. There's a lot of killing barbs and a lot of farming until you get to Kingsland. I've already mentioned ruins and altars, so I won't talk any more about that. Let's talk a little bit about the achievements and the goals. I mentioned the achievements that we have already. My goals for this KVK and our last KVK, I wanted to get 30 million kills. I would love to get 30 million kills again here. I don't know how much opportunity we're going to have. It really depends on how much our opponents are, a C kingdom as well. So they're very close to us in terms of total power. Both of those are very close. So I expect them to fight, but you never know. You never know how much your opponents are going to fight you in ruins and altars. You don't know how much they're going to fight in Kingsland. And because there's such a limited time for fighting, it's just really hard to predict how much opportunity you're going to get kills. I'm still going to shoot for 30 million kills this KVK. For sure, I want to get that 25 million kill reward, but I think 30 million is again going to be our target for this KVK. Finally, the other thing you're going to want to be thinking about doing, and let's see how, yeah, there we go. So notice that this action point recovery is already pretty substantial. I'm still Germany, but I'm getting a recovery speed bonus of 74% now, and we don't even have, there was a, if you finished, I think, 5th place, you got the AP recovery for like 15% or something like that for your kingdom. So we don't even have that, and we're already recovering AP very, very quickly. You'll find that in KVK3, your AP recovers usually so fast that when you wake up in the morning, you have a full bar, and there's really nothing you can do about it. The other thing we should be thinking about is what marches we're going to be using. I'm going to be using marches that are very similar to my KVK2 marches. I'm going to put a card at the top listing the KVK2 marches that I used, although with one exception, I did swap out buy bars for Mehmed. So in my Saladin march, I won't be using Saladin buy bars anymore. I'll be using Saladin Mehmed. That seems to just be a little more effective, and I use that at the end of KVK2. So that will probably be, I'll probably be using those same 5 marches in this KVK as well. But the other thing we need to talk about is our refining and crafting. We need to get our gear ready for this KVK. So let's go jump over here to the blacksmith shop and see what we can do. I've been collecting some items and getting some things ready, so hopefully we don't get too wrecked here. There's some legendary stuff we could craft. I'm actually not going to be crafting any of that legendary stuff. I actually have the equipment I want, just to give you a sense of what I've got right now and the marches I'll be using. I'll go ahead and pull those up. So I will be using Constantine Joan when we get to the areas in Kingsland where we're 5 marching. I would like to expertise the Cess Brutality. Right now it's not expertised, and I think it kind of feels a little silly to not expertise that, so I'll be refining that. I will be using Saladin as a primary. My cavalry gear is already in pretty good shape. Obviously, I could refine that chest piece if I wanted, but the chances, I mean, that's a lot of legendary materials to spend to try to refine that chest piece. So I'm probably just going to stick with the cavalry gear that I got, except maybe that silent trial. I will probably try to special talent a cavalry silent trial. I will be using Alex with Sun Tzu a fair amount. I also might be using Alex with YSG and Ruins, depending on how those things go. I'm probably not going to change this equipment. I could probably go for a Shio's Return if I feel like I have the materials instead of those Scarlet Hound boots. But actually, those Scarlet Hound boots just aren't that much worse than a Shio's Return that it's hard to justify putting the mats into it right now. But again, I might try to refine that Silent Trial, although I already do have a special talented infantry silent trial. And then what other marches do we have here? Let's see, we have Kusunoki. Where is Kusunoki? So Kusunoki YSG will be my archer march. Again, my equipment is right where I want it to be. I might try to get a silent trial that is special talented. And I'm missing one march. Oh yes, it's Richard Ethelfled. And again, that equipment isn't the best. It's not the top tier infantry gear, but it's in pretty good shape. I do feel like I could add either the gloves, the infantry gloves, or the infantry shield. The infantry shield's a lot of materials, and it's a little questionable about whether or not that's really worth it, but you do get the 2 set bonus. The gloves probably would be reasonable to go for here as well. So I could go for that, and then maybe move these special talented gloves over to Constantine. Maybe that's an option. So I might go for that here, but I'll have to think a little bit about that one to try to get that set bonus for Richard as well. But otherwise, his gear is in pretty good shape. But the things that I really do need to craft are these tomes. I need to craft one of those, and I also would like to try to refine those silent trials. So let's start with the silent trials. And let's start with, I don't think any of them have any refine on them already? No, they don't. Yes, none of them already have any refine level on them already. And I've got a couple of blueprints here, so let's try to special talent. Let's start with this one that's on Saladin. And okay, 25. Pretty wrecked on that one. So let's try it again. It's an 11% chance that we would get what we want. And okay, so now we're guaranteed. So we are guaranteed to get the special talent here. And I think I do have one more. I do have a couple of pick one blueprints. I'm actually going to use those. Let's go ahead and click that and turn that into a silent trial to go ahead and lock this in. I think I've got this on Saladin, but I think I'm actually going to make this one. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to make this one an Archer special talent. So I'll move it off of Saladin. Oh, that's kind of interesting. That's a new feature. I have not seen that feature before. It says mismatch between special talent and selected commander's cavalry talent. That's kind of cool that they've put in that warning for you, but that's okay because I'm just going to swap them around. So I am not that worried about that. Now let's see, can I try? Let's try our luck. Let's throw another blueprint at Silent Trial here. If you see my other videos about equipment, again, I'll try to put a card up at the top. Silent Trial is so good. I really want a special talent 3 of these. I think I can take 3 of those into Season of Conquest and feel really good about that. So fingers crossed here that we can special talent this one, and maybe we'll make this one cavalry and then we'll swap them. So 11% chance, here we go. Wrecked. It's actually not that bad. Okay, so basically this means I need one more fragment. I think the event that is coming up, the Thanksgiving event that's coming around the corner here, might give us one of these. I might get another choice chest, in which case I can choose this, and that would allow me to get 3 special talented silent trials, which I think is going to be really valuable. So, okay, before we leave the blacksmith shop, again, I mean, it's so tempting when you see those legendaries to want to craft them, but I'm going to skip those for now. Before I leave this blacksmith shop, though, I do want to craft this right here, the Ancient Stratagems. I've had one on Alexander. I had that last KVK. Gosh, it's really good in KVK2 and KVK3. It's probably, between that and Silent Trial is really good too. I think those are probably the 2 best pieces of equipment for non-rallies, right, for open field fighting in KVK2 and KVK3. So I'm going to go for one of these. I don't know. I think if I special talent, I guess I'll go infantry, even though right now I have one that's on Alex that's not special talented. But that's a problem I can deal with if we actually special talent it. So let's take a look. We'll hit quick forge. We see we've got to dip into some material choice chests here, but that's okay. Yeah, so good luck to us, and hopefully we get something good here. Okay, well, we didn't get the special talent, but we did get an Ancient Stratagems, which is something we wanted. We are going to put that... where am I going to put that? I had not really thought about this. I think I'm going to put that on... Let's put it on the Kusunoki. I really like the damage output that this... Oops, I clicked on talents. That's not what I wanted. Let's go back here. So I'm going to take the Delane's Amulet off of my Kusunoki, and I'm going to put on the Ancient Stratagems. And then I'm also going to take this off, of course, and we're going to go to Saladin and swap that special talented one. Okay, remove that. We'll put on the one that is not special talented. There we go. That's so close to special talented. We'll get it soon. So hopefully before any real fighting starts, we should have that. And then Kusunoki, we'll get the, oops, I already have that. So what do I need here? I need the special talented silent trial. So that's looking pretty good for Archer gear. Obviously, you know, a couple of things, you know, we would like to special talent that those legendary pieces, but that's going to be a lot of work. But otherwise, that Archer gear is looking pretty fit right now. Am I missing anything? I got everything back on Saladin, I think. Yes. Yeah, so Saladin's in good shape, but I have something. I have a Delane's Amulet floating around. I think I'm going to take this off of Constantine. I don't know what to do with those. I don't really have a lot of use for those anymore. And I'll put the Delane's Amulet on him. I think that's probably just fine for Constantine to have that as well, to reduce some of that counterattack damage. He doesn't really get focused, so it's actually pretty valuable on him, because since he's not getting focused when he's attacking things, he'll take less counterattack damage. So I guess the question is, should we try to refine those gloves? I'm going to think about that. I think we may go for those. I don't know how far away I am. Let's see what I would need. I don't even know if I have the pattern. Gloves. Not that one. This one here. Okay, so I actually need 6. I guess 5. It looks like I can actually use one. So I would need 5 of these. So maybe the next event that comes around, I can go for 6 of these. Craft that. How close am I? It looks like I need a lot of materials. Sorry, let's go here. No, not there. Where is it that I click on this? I don't actually know. I thought I would be able to see how many materials I needed. It's not really clear from this because I don't have the pick ones and all of that in there. But I'll figure out how many materials I need, and maybe we'll craft these Van Braces of the Eternal Empire, put those on Richard, move those other gloves over to Constantine, and then I can actually dismantle some of this equipment that I don't need anymore, getting some materials back. So that's what we really needed to do to get prepared for the fighting. Maybe there's a little more preparation we do. If we do that, I will put that together in another video for you guys. Look, I know this is a long video. I hope you've learned a lot about KVK3. One thing I did not mention that I really have to mention here is about this, not this here, the rules. In the rules, there is this pretty cool thing that I mentioned earlier. That it's daytime right now versus nighttime. That's solar glory versus lunar glory, and during your sides, we're lunar, during your sides glory, you get these bonuses, and those bonuses, I think, are they not mentioned here? I mean, I saw it say it can't power, but it doesn't say what those bonuses are. Let me see if I can find them. No, it's not going to be there. Not going to be there. Well, there's the map that I was looking for earlier. So 2250, 2251, 2240, and 2243, those are our allies. And the kingdoms on the north-south of that map are our opponents. I swear it would say... So it does say you get a buff. It doesn't say what that buff is. I'm pretty sure the buff is 5% attack, something like that. And then you also get burning speed, which is really, I think it's 50% burning speed, which is really valuable when it comes to burning out structures and things like that. So look, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a lot about KVK3, and I hope this helps you do well in your next KVK3. We've got a lot of action coming up, and so subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you can be here when that action starts, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.